The snow was up to my knees, thick and heavy, clinging to my boots like it wanted to drag me down into the earth. I had just finished a brutal late-night shift at the warehouse, my fingers numb from stacking boxes in the freezing loading bay, my back throbbing from hours of bending and lifting, and the snow. It was the worst we'd had in 10 years. Roads were closed, power flickered on and off, the kind of storm that made you wonder if the world was ending. All I wanted was to get home, kick off my soaked boots, and collapse into bed next to Mara, my wife of 6 years. I'd been fantasizing about the warmth of our small cottage the whole drive back. Windshield wipers thudding against the ice, the heating barely keeping me from shivering. But when I arrived, everything changed. I climbed out of the truck, the wind biting at my cheeks, and trudged up to the front door. My key wouldn't turn. I jiggled it, thinking it was frozen. But then I realized the deadbolt was locked from the inside. That's when I looked up and saw her. Mara stood in the living room window, smirking, like she'd just won something. She wasn't alone. Her brother Zane was there, holding up a bottle, his loud voice cutting through the glass. "Freeze to death, useless idiot!" Mara laughed, sharp and cruel, and smacked his fist in a high five. Behind them, her parents, Gordon and Beth, stood watching, their grins huge and cocky, like I was some kind of joke they'd all planned. My breath puffed out in shallow clouds. The cold was sinking into my bones, but it wasn't the weather breaking me. It was them, the people I called family. I stood there staring. My fingers shook, not just from the chill, but from the realization twisting in my chest. I could have shouted. I could have banged on the door until my fists bled. But what would that get me? More laughs? More insults? No. I turned around, the snow crunching under my boots, and walked to the backyard. Mark, our golden retriever, was curled up near the shed, his large brown eyes looking up at me, bewildered but trusting. His tail wagged, slow and hesitant, like he knew something was wrong. I unhooked his leash from the post, grabbed his blanket off the porch, and started walking. The wind howled, stinging my eyes, but I didn't look back. Not once. That house, our house, was behind me, warm, bright. But it didn't feel like mine anymore. Maybe it never had. Mark pressed close to my leg as we moved through the storm, his fur coated in snow. I kept my head down, focusing on each step. I didn't know where I was headed, only that I needed to get away from the smirks, away from the beer, away from the betrayal. Every time I blinked, I saw Mira's face, that laugh still echoing in my head, and it pushed me forward. She didn't come to the door. She didn't call out. She didn't care. And Zane? God, I'd always known he was a jerk. But this was next level. Her parents, too, standing there like it was a family game night, cheering her on while I froze. I'd spent years trying to fit into their world, working extra shifts to meet their expectations, biting my tongue when they made their sly little jabs about my job, my truck, my simple life, and for what? To be thrown out in the snow like garbage? Mark whimpered beside me. I reached down, scratched his ears, my gloves stiff with frost. "It's okay, buddy," I whispered, though my voice shook. "We're done here." The snow kept falling, thicker now, blanketing the street in white, and I felt like I was disappearing with it. Maybe that's what they wanted. Mira, Zane, all of them, to erase me. But I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me beg. I tightened my grip on Mark's leash and kept walking. The cold wrapped around me like a second skin, my head spinning with questions I didn't have answers to. Why'd she do it? When did she stop caring? How long had they been planning this? I didn't know. All I knew was the pain in my chest and the dog at my side. We passed the corner store, its lights dim through the blizzard. And I thought about the life I'd built, the one I thought we'd built together. 6 years of dinners, vacations, late-night conversations. Was it all fake? My legs were heavy, my jeans soaked through, but I didn't stop. Mark stayed with me, loyal, as ever, and that was enough. For now. The house vanished behind me, swallowed by the storm, and with it, the man I'd been. I wasn't sure who I'd be tomorrow, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going back. Not to them, not to that. The snow burned my cheeks, but I welcomed it. At least it was honest. Cold, cruel, but honest. And right now, that's all I needed, just me and Mark. We'd figure it out, one step at a time. I hurried to the bedroom, my boots loud on the hardwood, and found my clothing still in the closet. But her side was empty, hangers dangling, a few loose socks left behind. Leo poked around the kitchen, whistling quietly. They relocated everything. Dude, your coffee mugs are in the pantry now. I checked the office next. My gaming PC was still on the desk, but as I started it up, my heart plummeted. Every save file. Hours of progress. Games I played to unwind after long shifts. Deleted. Blank. Like I'd never been there. I clenched my fists, breathing slow, keeping the anger down. They hadn't just left, they'd erased me, piece by piece. Then I found it, attached to the fridge. A handwritten bill from Mara. 2 pages long, itemizing every cent she claimed she'd spent on us over the years. Groceries from 2019, gas for a trip in 2021, even emotional support, with money signs next to it, like I owed her for putting up with me. It was insane, petty, a final punch to twist the knife. Leo read it over my shoulder, laughing so hard he nearly choked. Emotional support? She's nuts. I didn't laugh. It stung, sure, but it also kindled something in me. I grabbed my phone, snapped a picture of the letter, and posted it to my story. No caption, just the raw image. Let people see who she truly was. Within minutes, comments rolled in. Friends, co-workers, even my cousin in Ohio. She's delusional. You're better off, buddy. What a clown show. Savage. And it felt nice, like a mob cheering me on. I texted Mara. Meet me tomorrow. Willow Park, alone this time. No reply came. But I didn't care. She'd see it. Leo. And I spent the day reclaiming the space. Moving my chair back to the living room, plugging in the Xbox, storing her bill in a drawer for later, maybe for a lawyer. If it came to that, Mark, my dog, sniffed every corner, reclaiming his spot near the couch, his tail bobbing in approval. The house still felt off, echoes of her everywhere. But it was mine again. And that was a start. Heading back to Leo's that night, I kept thinking about the money. Getting it back definitely helped, but it didn't erase what she'd done. 9 grand, stolen, slow, a betrayal stretched over months. And the house, altered, like I was just a visitor they'd kicked out. It wasn't just malice, it was a message. You. Don't matter. But I did. I mattered to me now, and that's what kept me going. At Leo's, we ordered pizza, busted open a couple beers. Mark begged for crust, his big eyes working their magic. You're winning, dude, Leo said, clinking his bottle against mine. They're scrambling, and you're solid, I nodded, sipping slow. Feels like it. But tomorrow's the real test, he tilted his head. The park? Yep, gotta hear her out. See if she's got anything left to say. He smirked. You're too kind. You know that? Maybe, but I wasn't doing it for her. I was doing it for me, to finish this chapter clean. That night, I lay on the couch, Mark curled up alongside me. The house flowed through my mind. The recliner back where it belonged, the empty shelves, her silly bill. It wasn't about the things, it was about what they meant. She tried to rewrite our lives, make me the villain, but I wasn't playing that part anymore. The comments on my post kept piling up. I didn't need her apology, didn't need her tears. I simply wanted to face her one more time, say what I had to, and walk away. For good.